Hello and welcome to the Made in New York Animation Project Incentivized Industry Access event. My name is Hoda and I'm an animator here at TAB, and I will be one of your hosts for today's alongside my wonderful co-host Shane.
Hey everyone, I'm Shane and I'm an animator here at TAP. Today's group is scheduled to run from 4 o'clock to 5:30 p.m. Before we begin, let's review some information about this webinar. So this group will operate in webinar format, which means attendees will not be able to turn on their video or microphone during webinar events. However, attendees are encouraged to use the Q&A feature to engage with our guest speaker. And a note on attendance, you were counted in attendance as soon as you logged in. You do not need to follow up with us regarding attendance. If you lose connection, try to rejoin the webinar as soon as possible, and you will still receive your incentive even if you get disconnected from the webinar.
Thank you so much, Shane. I'm super excited for this industry access event. Let's look at today's goal. So for our today industry access event, like any other tab group, we're gonna open with an opening ritual, and we're gonna review our tab creed, and then we're gonna take a look at our program and incentives information. Then I'm gonna introduce our wonderful guest, and then after our guests spoke, they presented what they're going to present. We're going to follow with a Q&A session, and then we move to our closing ritual.
Very exciting. A lot of ground to cover. Hoda, how should we open today's group?
So for today's opening, we are going to start with a question. So please feel free to put in chat what TV show, film, or video game do you think has the best special effects? Me and Shane also can share with you. Shane, do you have any film or a special video effect that has the best special effects in your judgment?
Something that comes to mind is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from last year, Mutant Mayhem.
That's
has yeah, just like the coolest 2D 2.5D kind of style, and just like the texture, and even like the lighting has like lines in it. So that would be my answer. That's the thing that popped into my mind first. What about you, Hoda?
Is it something, I didn't see the movie, is it something close to the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, it's definitely like in a post Spider-Verse animation industry. It's like feels like a response to it in a cool way.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Mine, okay. I think Dune. Dune first part so far. I am looking forward for the second part. I think that VFX was absolutely seamless and blew my mind. It didn't look like VFX, and I think that was the beauty of it. So
I haven't seen that. I really want to watch that.
let's see what are some of our amazing participants are shared with us. So Angie shared The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead does have good VFX.
Yeah, that
Mostly practical and that too, I think, right?
oh yeah, that's a very good example. Nina said Into the Spider-Verse is good.
Of course, yeah.
That's one of the most wonderfuls. And Emanuela also shared Matrix. Wow.
Oh, with the 360 shots, yeah.
Yes, the 360. That was an OG, like a starting of a computer VFX, kind of like taking it to the next level. I really like the Matrix, like the trilogy. And Matthew shared Across the Spider-Verse again. We have some love here for the Spider-Verse.
It's worth a separate mention. Across the Spider-Verse it somehow makes Into the Spider-Verse look like tame.
Jaden shared Mine is a TV show. The Boys has the best VFX.
I've heard good things.
For good things too. What else, everybody? Does anybody else wants to show their favorite VFX? Television, video games, movies.
Sazid says Game of Thrones. True. Game of Thrones does have really good VFX.
That's a wonderful example. I will show it in in my classes, especially for like green screen. Game of Thrones is amazing.
An anonymous attendee said Fallout 76. I haven't played that.
I haven't played that too. Anybody else wants to share?
Let's
Okay.
see.
Kuliana said, my favorite TV show that has the best special effects is the show of Netflix called Love, Death, and the Robots. Oh, that's a very, very good one.
Oh, we got a couple more coming in. Christian says Demon Slayer. Yeah, Demon Slayer is like 3D parts. Crazy. Blows my mind.
Edilson said the part of The Last of Us in The
Yeah.
Last of Us game. Wow,
That game is gorgeous.
that game is beautiful. Minha says Avatar. Which one? Which Avatar is the movie?
I'm assuming it's the movie. The VFX in that movie are crazy. They like it does not look like a movie from 2009.
I know, that's wonderful. I know that I forgot his name, but the director waited so long for the technology to advance in order to
Mm,
create those kind of imagery back then. James Cameron, yeah. So
yes, yeah.
yeah, that was a groundbreaking moment for the VFX industry.
Oh, Mina clarified The Way of Water, Avatar 2. Yeah,
Samantha said
crazy.
my favorite show is All American Cobra Kai.
Oh, that's 3 shows. All American, Cobra Kai, and One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
Very cool. I've not watched those, but I know people who like those. Akira, yeah. Akira is an all-timer. Just like the lighting in a 2D film is absurd.
Mohammed shared Lost in Space.
Anonymous attendee says 1917. Yeah, 1917 is crazy.
Everyone, please make sure to change your name so we can like share your feedback with your name.
Sully says one of my favorite movies might be the Mario movie.
Oh,
I love the Mario movie. I'm not even gonna lie. I was so excited for it and it did not disappoint.
that was a wonderful movie. Yeah, I have another mention of Walking Dead and Cyberpunk 2077. The game has some cool visuals. Yes, Giovanni, that's such a good game. And another anonymous mentioned Cyberpunk. Wow, that was such amazing responses. Thank you everybody for sharing.
Before we welcome today's guest speaker, let's review the TAP Creed and go over some incentives information.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with reading number 1. We show respect. We are a team of individuals from different backgrounds and experience with a shared interest in learning. We live up the same expectation as we would in person. We mute ourselves when we are not speaking in order for all voices to be clearly heard.
Number 2, we take care of our technology. We utilize our technology with care and professionalism in order to support the learning experiences of all who attend.
We focus. We have a lot to learn. All our attention is focused on the group. We do our best to limit distraction around us. We wear headphones if possible.
We participate. We are engaged in the group. We abide by the creed when asking questions and sharing our creative work.
We own the content. This is our group. This is our opportunity to learn more about the animation industry and express ourselves creatively.
And finally, we attend the group. Our voices and ideas are valued. We attend each group we are registered for. We log into the group on time and stay until the end. Our Zoom names match our registration names.
Thank you so much, Shane. Now we'll take a moment to review some information about our incentives. So, how much will I be paid? Attendees who register for this webinar will be paid $10. Only registered attendees are eligible to receive an incentive. Incentives card will be mailed out by March 1st, and you should receive your card in the mail by March 12th. And if you have any questions regarding the incentives, please contact us at incentives@theanimationproject.org.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that important information about incentives, Hoda. Now, I am so excited to welcome our guest speaker for today, Jiyoon Lee. Jiyoon is a compositor and VFX supervisor currently working at the Mill Studio in New York City. Welcome, Jiyoon.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. And oh my God, your organization with having all those previous curriculum looks so fun. I wish I had you guys even before I graduated. But so good to see you all. Again, my name is Jian Lee. I'm a compositor and also VFX supervisor outside of the Mill. And I'm very happy to share some of my stories and how I get into this role and how does this industry work. So should I be sharing my screen right now or be later, Shane? And do you guys want me to share it for now? How do you feel about
Sure.
it?
You can go right ahead.
Awesome.
I'm so excited.
Again, I am very slow with this new Zoom stuff. So I'm very slow with this, but do bear with me. But again, hello everyone. My name is Gigi. Well, my Korean name is Chien Lee, but I know some people say I look more like Gigi, so I'll just stick to Gigi, whatever. And again, the Mill is the company that is located in New York site-wise in Soho, and we have a bunch of locations outside worldwide. And I'll be sharing a little bit about what the Mill does and what I've been doing in my past 5 years of careers. And so happy to see you all. So again, as you can tell, I'm from Korea. I was born and raised from South Korea, Seoul. And this New York life is my first time studying abroad outside of Korea, because again, I've been attending art middle school and art high school in Korea. So to me, using this English and meeting all people around the world was not a natural thing to begin with. But again, moving to New York back in 2015, as soon as I graduated my high school, I just immediately thought that maybe I should become a designer. So unlike what I'm doing right now, I actually attended a school called SVA, which is School of Visual Arts in New York, as a designer. And then fun thing is, because like whenever you see cool movies, cool music videos, it's always surrounded with a lot of visual effects. And I thought maybe rather than doing the same thing that I've been doing back in my high school and middle school, maybe it's time for me to switch a whole area of what I can do in terms of the skill set and the interest. And then, by switching my major to computer animation in SVA, thankfully I got a job at the Mill before graduation. So it seems like I'm still in this industry still, but again, it's a very fun industry to definitely put your feet on, and it's been so much fun. And while at SVA, again, because I've came from a different part of the major, I've done some photographies, I've done some motion graphics back then. So while I was at SVA, unlike any other people who would normally do internship for, like VFX houses, I started off my first jobs and all different like freelance jobs were more towards the production. So let's say I've done some PA works for my very first job, staying outside in the snowy day with the bags only, not doing anything. But a year goes by or a month goes by, I got hired as a motion graphic designer where I was more inside the room working. And then I realized, oh, maybe I want to be on set more. So after having so many connections walking through with the jobs, I got offered as a New York Fashion Week photographer. I've been on makeup designer. Like it's been hella a lot of, like non-constant workflows, but I feel like having so many people around me just to, support each other made me some opportunities to work as a diverse roles. And then after a whole bunch of experience, I feel like visual effects was something that really had a future. And even though currently we see a lot of, articles saying that, oh, AI is taking over a lot of stuff in animation, as someone who actually use and also operate a bit of AI currently, it's not gonna happen too early. So I feel like we are still in the position where we can actually still learn a lot of VFX, and maybe we can advance our skill set more with the AI. But again, having all this experience really helped me to become a compositor, I think, at the end. And to give you a little bit of insights of what visual effects in terms of supervisor and compositor, VFX supervisor normally are on set where they take care of all the shots and all the qualities of the elements that VFX people should take. And compositor is the one who is in the very last end of the produce, like the whole pipeline, where they collect all the 3D elements, live actions, or any of the graphic designs to become and set in the one place in the footage. So I feel like doing a compositing really helped me to talk with a lot of people outside of the department and to really focus on what the client's needs are and what we can really enhance in terms of the quality of the production. And while I was in SVA, one thing, my thesis film was shoot very late than other people, but I end up finishing up in a good amount of timeline. And fun thing is I've been doing a lot of, again, compositing work. So I had to really put myself in different shoes and hats where I actually did the makeup myself. I did the costume making myself. I've done lighting with the directors that I hired with. So by having all this different, I think, backgrounds back and forth really helped me to understand what a good compositor should do or what they should really collect from the set. And I feel like this film really represented back in the days because it finished on 2019 and it's like 5 years ago. But I still adore my shot because again, without this, I wouldn't really understand how VFX supervisor or compositor should have as their mindset. And by exploring all this in a short amount of time, really gave me a lesson that when people say, oh, the shoot is too big, you're not gonna finish this film, but I end up doing it with, my own plans and everything. So I always tell people that even though people in your school say it's not gonna happen or it's like impossible to do, just still do it. You're a student and you're still in school. There's nothing that's really gonna, harm you in terms of your reputations and everything. So I feel like being in the shoes as a student, it's a good time to really explore a lot of things outside of your actual career year. And to show you how it happened again, I like, unlike other people again who applied and had an internship while they were as a student, I was more of a kiddo who goes out on set, really tried to make more relationship with the people on set, and really doesn't matter what type of works they require me to do, I would still do from very bottom to top of like any different roles they offered. And by that I had good amount of friends who were already working in the industry but really helped me with this. It's the student project, but they were very open to put their professionalism and their amazing desire on this film itself. So for me, what I can tell you, because I've heard that this group of people who is joining this presentation are from age 16 to 24, I think. And some people who are already in college or university, this is your future and current moment of doing it. But for anyone who is still in high school, middle school, just explore as much as you can while you're in the school. It doesn't matter what school you are or what age you're in, as long as you are protected with the people. I feel like it's a good way to learn how to talk with people, how to really, give your thoughts to the other people, how to keep your manner, or like how to share your work shares. I feel like it has been a really good learning points to me. So I just wanted to reiterate that, because time goes by, you'll forget, you're just focusing on your, assignments, you're just focusing on what your teachers say. But at the end, you're trying to be here to be a really good, artist by your own name. And I feel like as long as you can really show people that what you can do and what you're eager to learn, that I feel like, time wouldn't matter. You'll really get into the points where you want to go in the future, I think. And so to the mill, as I heard, because I've been reading all the description of what the mill is, we've been in this industry for over 30 years, and that's a while. And we are one of pretty big companies amongst the others, like Frame Stores and ILM. And we have lots of locations currently in New York, London, Berlin, LA, Chicago, Paris, Shanghai, and also we recently opened one in Seoul, Korea, which is my hometown. So if anyone who likes to join outside of New York works, please enjoy, because I feel like we have such a strong bondship with each of the different location, and we do a lot of work here. So if you're ever interested in, you don't need to really stick to one location. I feel like as long as you can explore a lot outside, then I feel like it's a good company to work on. And to give you what we do again, we are mainly focusing on VFX from a lot of stuff using Unreal, 3D, like traditional 3D tools, Nuke and Flame, and also recently we've been taking over a little bit more of the AI together. But again, I feel like still need some time, but it's a good way of, moving on to future industry shapes. And again, by doing VFX, I feel like all the locations does it. So it's a really good place to learn and explore yourself within the VFX industry. And within the design studio, we have a lot of clients coming in for motion graphics. Well, we don't do like stuff like brandings or UI UX that normal design studio would do, but we're more of the production side. So if you're interested in motion graphic, please try to bring up all your reels from very traditional 2D to very 3D, because we do all different style of production. So we are very happy to take over whomever is very interested in this industry. Experience Studio is where we do a lot of live actions and motion captures and real-time engines. So if there's any concerts, we're trying to do it in real life with the AR and stuff. This is the department that does a lot of stuff that is somewhat outside of the frame. Normally we would do something inside the frame. These people do a lot of experimental stuff, and which is very emerging nowadays. And Mill Direction is somewhere we call, we have a really famous directors who is doing great job appealing clients and really focusing on the qualities of the work. So not just with the specific roles like artist or whatever, the directors are the key people who also helps our brands to be, very well known to the clients. So if anyone is interested in becoming a director, also stay focused on our mill, because we do a lot of stuff back and forth. And I'm gonna show you what mill does as a reel, and hope you guys can hear and see it clearly.
Today we celebrate the birth of a new land.
Last few years that I've seen, walking dead all around me, silent fears, neatly folded dreams, moving faster than a hurricane, moving faster than a hurricane. Lost in the fire, different
Let's make it weirder.
Could you do it again?
Okay. That was Mill. And let me know if I'm going too fast though. But the Mill wise, the reason why I chose, well, of course you gotta be picked by the companies to get in for sure. But the reason why I was very interested and focused on the Mill company itself was because number one, they've done a lot of Super Bowl spots. And as someone who came from Korea, hearing that Super Bowl commercial was such a great impression to kind of start off with my career and saying that, you know, when you're from Korea, there's a little bit of gap in terms of like language and everything. But to PR yourself that I've done some Super Bowl spots, it kind of immediately gives me a better sense of, you know, like having conversations with other people and stuff. So Mill definitely had a really wide range of the Super Bowl commercials to work on. And another thing is, as you can see, Mill has such a diverse style of the works they have done. Like, for example, if there's a little boutique company, they usually do somewhat more of the animatic style. Some try to do more of the anime style, while as Mill is somewhere where we take a various different type of clients. So we tend to really do not stick to one style, but really like anything that clients want. So it's a really good place to learn a skill set and also how to deal with clients at the same time, because it's not really strict with hierarchy too. You're always welcome to hop on a call with clients and hear in and shadow, you know, how the conversations go through. So I feel like if anyone who loves to really explore a diverse thing in a short amount of time, Mill is such a great place to learn on for sure. And so again, outside of the Mill, again, within the Mill, I'm a compositor, so I stick to those projects normally. But outside of the Mill, I was very thankful that I had a client. Again, I met them back in the days when I was doing PA, motion graphic designers, and you know, photographers, and they're coming back saying that they somewhat want to work with me. And a lot of cases were from K-pop music videos. And I don't know if you guys like K-pop music videos, but to me, as growing up, born and raised in Korea, K-pop was like a bomb. Like it was one of the dream jobs that I always wanted to do. And as soon as I graduated, I think SVA, I was pretty much well known within the Korean community, saying that, oh, there's this girl who knows VFX, but also, you know, shoots and takes photos. And so to me, it was a very great opportunity to PR myself to the clients too, saying that, oh, if you want this, maybe I can mix this and this skill set for you guys. So a lot of times they would come in for specific roles, but after time goes by, they literally gave me a trust saying that, oh, why don't you supervise all this project in terms of the VFX and you'll be leading and stuff. And I've done some cool stuff like Kai Peaches. I've done some one for Yenna Smiley. Another thing is, which was really cool, was the New Jeans. We didn't know they were gonna be this big, but I've helped them on with the debut music video, which was fun. And outside of the music video, I've done some indie films as well. So I feel like I wanted to kind of share to you guys of not just the work wise, but how I got into this, you know, roles and how I got this job while I was a student back and forth. Well, first of all, to give you again, VFX supervising wise, in America, it's usually you'll be on set, you'll be taking care of everything on set, and you'll bring all the elements to the crews that who's gonna do the post-production. In Korea and Asia countries are slightly different for some reason. Like I wanted to kind of give you a difference because in America, once you get the supervising role, you'll take over from very beginning of the pre-production towards the end of the post-production. But in Korea, depending on how the clients want to handle this project, they would only hire in the certain amount of ranges. For such as like for New Jeans, I was mostly on the pre-production side because they had an idea, but they weren't really, focused on how to plan it out for the shoot. And the shoot crews were already set it up early, even before the date was selected. So to me, it was more like helping them plan out how to shoot stuffs and stuff. But for project like High Peach, it was more like they wanted someone who is just in the post-production where, again, it was tricky because they didn't have a supervisor in the beginning, so it was not supposed to be a VFX shots and whatever, but they tend to change pretty fast forward, so I had to help them out within the post-production of how to fix this or how to manage this or how to solve this problem. And even with the hiring artists too, in America, we used to have, we have post producers who is specifically focusing on the post-production, right? But in Korea, it's usually one producer taking care of all the I think departments, including VFX. So I was handling both of the supervising, which is more of the quality work, but also as a like somewhat post producer where I'm actually hiring people and actually having them crewed up for the production. So if any of you are also, if you guys have rules and everything, always hit me up because I'm always eager to have more people to help these projects on. Because again, I love connecting people. So I'm here also to hire you somewhere. So always reach out to me if you have cool stuff to watch on. But again, Asia countries and I think USA have a slightly different way of working. So if you ever have a chance to go study abroad and really feel the culture, I feel like it's a really good place to learn not just the VFX, but how it works on top of everything. So while I was at SVA again, online, it's a very unique way to get a job, but I feel like it really worked on me because again, as you can see, I'm very talkative, I'm very loud. So I always try to make more of the conversation with each person that I meet up. And rather than having, just cold calls saying I want a job, I tend to really build a relationship with each other people that I'm seeing. And a lot of the times people do imagine that, oh, you should just, like show your good self to the people who is higher up or even, older than you. But I feel like you always have to keep your mind that you have to be good to people who is ahead of you, but also you have to be really nice to people behind you, which meaning that any next generation could be your client. They could be your clients or they could be your peers. So don't try to divide those two generations back and forth, saying that this group I should be nice, this group not. No, try to be really nice to every single one of you around you because we don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know how my life is going to be like, but at least what I'm trying to do is I'm very trying myself to really be nice to anyone around me. And with that being said, first job that I got was through the connection and collaboration, which means even though I'm on computer art major, if any of the other departments such as, film kiddos or, commercial advertisement kiddos need some production people to work on, I will be very happy to hop on together and really bond our different departmentships into one. And after that, because again, when people work on those major, they usually go into what's it called, director side or producer side. So they will remember me saying that, oh, we had a good friend who used to work on VFX, maybe we should use her. So all this relationship was going all the way around in a nice way, like they always call me on saying like, hey, we need your help again, are you up? And I'm like, sure, why not? But of course at some point the money involves and you need to be really protecting yourself in terms of the cost and everything. But again, in terms of the opportunity, I feel like if you have a good friends around you who is doing cool jobs, just help them out. Don't like the money is something that you'll consider later on. But for now, I feel like having more opportunities are something that will brings money or the reputation in. And in terms of the branding and PR that I put up, I'm not a brand or I don't own a company, but at least I try to do is that when people remember name Gigi, they will remember a person or a working person who loves to do every single task with a variety of the perspective, but also good at talking with client. So for me, branding myself as a figure that, oh, I know how to do this from A to Z, and I can talk with clients, I can talk about money, and people will remember me on that type of person. So when the project comes in with a big budget and big scope of artists needed, they will really, contact me and say, hey, maybe we need your help. Are you up to? So of course I would say yes, but in terms of the branding, I feel like everyone has a different way of branding. So you don't need to follow my way, but if you have your own personality already, like if you know your own self, then I feel like it's good to set up that type of business model to other people saying they are this type of person. So if you have any specific project like this, then I'll be happy to hop on. So always try to keep their bonds on it. And again, kindness is everything. Like some people are so smart, some people are so skillful, but if they tend to lose the humanity or like how to really deal with other people as a, person by person, the opportunities go away, unfortunately. And even though you have a really good skill set, if you have a hard time, keeping bondship with other, just try to reach out to people who are pretty good at talking and really just learn from self. Because even for me too, I've been asking so many people how to keep the manner, how to talk politely to this specific roles of people. And I've been learning a lot from my friends too. So if you be nice to other people, I feel like you'll definitely learn how to bring up bigger, business to your own self. And job hunting. So cool things to do twice. Number one, know yourself. To me, I knew that I'm not a person who likes to stay in one place and focus on the long-term project. I'm more of a person who likes to keep the what's it called, fast turning around project, but also diving into a diverse one at one place. So for me, doing compositing was a really good choice just because, if you do Houdini or if you do some sort of, I don't know, like more high-tech work, you need to be focused on a pretty long time with a decent amount of knowledge, whilst I was someone who loves photography and who knows how to shoot stuff. So knowing live action amount of knowledge, but also like to hop in and out of the certain amount of work share, because compositing, we do a lot of beauties, we do a lot of CG comping, we do a lot of cleanup. So it's a various type of test to do in one place. So to me, compositing was something that I knew that maybe it's a good choice for me to do. And to do a research, again, I don't know how many of you guys are international, but when you choose a company to really put on, again, visa also matters. And also outside of the visa, the policies that companies has or whatever they have as a client do matter when you work on. For me, like the mill has such a diverse client. They have such a luxury brands as a client as well. And to me, knowing that information really helped me to really focus on this one company to be in. And I feel like for you guys, if you do a research saying that, because a lot of cases people think, oh, Google is such a cool place, I'll go to Google, or Apple is such a big place, I'll just go to Apple. But even though you got into the company, I do see people who is not really adjusting to that set of the company just because it's such a big place. You'll do a small amount of tasks for a longer time. So if you're someone who likes to do a diverse thing in a short amount of time, go to smaller boutique company where you can explore a lot of different roles. Whereas if you go to big company, you'll be only focusing on one specific one for a pretty decent time, I think. So do a research and see what type of person you are and what type of company you guys want to go in. And I know some of you guys are high school, probably not in college yet, but this is something I always tell my students who is in college. Your assignment is not everything. Like people do think that GPA and everything matters. Yes, it matters, of course, but in terms of the artist world, I feel like still your brand and your identity is definitely important. than doing the assignment that everybody does and everybody shows up to the company. So when you're doing your assignments, either do it slightly different way of your own, or try to shoot your plates yourself, or really like, try to be active in every single pipelines that you're currently doing, and try to make your own, work that shows who you are, not really like the school or anything that is in your community. Like, try to show you off yourself more, because I feel like that really helped me to get into this role a lot. I wouldn't say shorter, but in a good amount of efforts, I think. And the person next to you can be your client. Please be nice to each other, because again, a lot of my friends are now my clients, and I am also clients of my friends too. So if you have any friends who need some help with this, making cool shoots or like cool projects, just help them out. And like someday you both will be in a really good position where you can help each other financially and reputationally. So I always tell people, like, don't be too picky about what they ask for. Just do whatever you can for each other, and it will definitely help you guys out a lot. And if you are in this animation project, I assume that you guys are someone who wants to be an artist, right? So keep develop yourself as an artist and also as a brand, because even though I'm doing compositing and supervising, that's not something that shows out who Gigi is, right? I like to talk, I like to teach people. Like, it doesn't compacts everything that I have as an aspect. So the job is going to be something that you will deal with a lot or soon later, but try to keep yourself as a brand, because again, at the end, the jobs will be changing. As you can see, AIs are taking over everything. So job titles will be changing at some point. Like everything is going to change, but who you are wouldn't really change even though the time goes by. So try to keep yourself as who you are. And again, no matter what you do, you guys are all amazing. Just keep doing who you are. And if you have any questions, I'm always happy to, answer and help you guys, think of how your career should be. Of course, I'm still seeking more answers from the person who is already in this industry and who is already in the shoes that I want to go for. But again, generation back and forth really means a lot to me. So you guys are my precious people from now on as well. So always try to reach out to each other, and we'll see how it goes from there. And I love Instagram. I do post job postings on Instagram as well. So if you guys have Instagram, please let's follow each other. And when I need you guys, you'll be there. When you guys need me, I'll be there. So I love Instagram, by the way. I just am not a TikTok person yet because it's too fast and it keeps changing. But I think Instagram is pretty much static and really good place to connect each other. So enjoy, and hope I was somewhat helpful for you guys. And I think that's it with the slideshow. But I'm gonna stay here a little bit longer until the session is ending. So do hit me up. But again, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, Gigi. That was wonderful, especially when they're talking about like keeping other people around yourself and try to like connect with everybody that you meet. Not only just because they might be your next client, but it's just nice to be good to people and make more friends. And eventually, maybe they invite you to do something for them or not. I'm also international. I came from I'm also Asian. I came from Iran, so. And now in New York and animation supervisor.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes, for sure. I feel that.
It is a lot that the company has the tolerance to first of all, have like different clients and also a very diverse kind of like thinking and diverse culture is very important. Which was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
You're gonna open the Q&A for everybody. Please share your questions with Gigi and user advice while they're here. We already have some question I can see in the Q&A. I'm gonna read them aloud. So Carolina is asking, for people that are introverted but they want to network, what kind of advice do you have for that kind of people?
Great question.
I feel like, first of all, again, I know this introvert extrovert really divides the people of how they reach out to people. But if the interaction, like in-person interaction, is hard for you, try to make your connections through like emails or like phone calls or at least the text, just because some, like, not all the people who is in the industries are extrovert. Like, I'm extrovert, I know, but my leads are totally introvert. So sometimes they feel pressure when I talk to them. So like it doesn't really divide you, or it doesn't make you feel like, you have less opportunity than others. Just try to connect more with the time and efforts, like it doesn't have to be a real voice back and forth. Again, any type of material, like any type of way, such as like email, text, is still fine. Like someday when you feel comfortable with this person by talking through with the emails and such, I feel like you'll have a moment that you'll be open to talk with these people. And they're, again, as an extrovert, it's hard to like give you a specific advice of how to like fix or turn up that different aspect. But I feel like the more you start talking with people through text, you'll sense that how they react to certain letters or a certain amount of sentence. And you'll get the sense of, oh, maybe it's time to really switch it up to a phone call and have a real time interaction. And when you feel comfortable, change it into an in-person session. Because again, these people are also introvert too. Like, not everyone is extrovert. So some people will definitely feel you. And even for me too, I appreciate people who is introvert but still trying to text me in a way, because I know it's hard for some people, but I do appreciate that. And those appreciations back and forth will definitely help you with, better connections later on. So don't feel shy. Even though you're shy, don't feel shy with like, I would say, virtual connections, I would say, if that makes sense. I don't know, like, it's the way of people
It does
pushing
make
their
sense.
limits, find those, right?
Yeah, like you said, I think you should like try to make the connection regardless of like how intense it is. Maybe you want to just like reach out through text, or maybe find the LinkedIn profile. I don't know, like just connect, but it's always good to connect.
Absolutely.
Also, like want to thank you for your great advice. Carolina said being kind to everyone is really important. We're all trying our best or need for the division, as you mentioned. And Mina is asking, is it all right if we can also get your email contact?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you guys have my email in this chat, but I'll definitely send it through over. And again, I'll be honest, I'm not very fast responding person. Like, I'm not a live agent who gives you a right after answers, but at least within 2 or 3 days, I try to answer all the emails or text that I'm getting through. So feel free. I don't know if it's better for me to type it in this chat or to give you guys my email, and you guys can send it over to these people. Which one is the best way?
I think you share it with us and then we share it with them.
Okay, yeah. Because I have tons of emails like from SBA or whatever, but it's ggcreated@gmail.com. So I'll just send it to this lovely host and you'll get it soon for sure.
Awesome. Kaylin asks, how do you balance your profession and personal life?
So, fun fact, when this year, 2024, my goal is to split those two, like, totally. But until last year, I was very famous around the people who knows me that I don't sleep, I party, but I work. I think it's just a matter of how you grew up. To me, as a Asian Korean girly who, prepare all this university stuff and moved to USA when I was 20, all this sleepless work and training was something that I'm very used to. So like, sleeping wouldn't really matter on my own. But I do see a lot of people panic when they don't sleep. And I feel like it's either your focus matters, like if you want to really work on something that is really cool, but you have a short amount of time, I feel like sometimes sacrificing your sleep does help you in a certain way. But I don't want you guys to die so young. So at least try to sleep like at least like 4 hours a day if you have so much work to do. But for me, I was trained to not sleep and, work and stuff. So to me, it was fine. But last year, I felt like oh my God, I'm gonna die at this point. And like, I literally felt that. And from this year, I'm gonna sleep 8 hours a year, like a day at least, and I'm gonna work in a certain amount of time. And I'm still learning on that process because again, I had no one to really ask for, and I didn't have any mentor who has divided perfectly with their work-life balance. So I was in a very messed up life routine. But now this year, I just hit 28, but I'm still learning those healthier life way still. So don't try to mess your health because it's gonna make a longer stresses later on. So try to sleep as much as you can, but focus on a short amount of time. That will really help you focus on everything for sure, if that makes sense.
It was good advice. Michelle asking, what resources did you use to find networking events?
I feel like for me, it was usually, I'm not gonna lie, if you go out and hang out with friends in New York, everyone is professional. And like, even though you're in the bar, if you talk with people on the next side, they are like someone cool in this industry. So just hanging out with people really helped me a lot. And again, I'm an extrovert, so I talk with everybody else. But if you're introvert, I feel like school has some great industry sessions. Like I think SVA brings a lot of students into the mill as a studio tour. So if you see any studio tours, like I think Access VFX also have something like that. And within the visual effects, there's a organization called VES, which is Visual Effects Society. I think they're also opening some fun events, not just for the professionals, but also some students who is looking up to it. So always just search it up. And I feel like this networking is not a huge thing. You know, it could happen with your neighbor, it could happen in a coffee shop. I always try to prepare something that I can show off to people whenever I go. And so to me, I got hired within the coffee shop one day with the photography thing. So it doesn't really matter where it happened. It's just if you're focused on getting an opportunity, be ready to really show people what you have at any certain time or any location. It's just a matter of your attention, I think. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No sense.
We have a question from an anonymous attendee. Have you tried creating things in AR or VR for any personal projects or work?
AR, I tried one for, I think it was something that I wanted to bring my business card in the certain amount of level of AR skill, where, you know, if you take a photo of something, I think it pops up in the screen in the photo. I have not succeeded yet, but if you need any guidance of that, I know some people who have done, especially in our experience team, they do a lot. So I can definitely connect you through if you need in your personal project for sure.
Thank you so much. Abby is asking, what learning resources do you recommend?
In terms of learning resources, there are a bunch, but if you're talking about visual effects, honestly, YouTube have everything nowadays. Like, can't lie, YouTube has so many things. It's just a matter of you need to have a better sense of what you need to search on. Like, if you search just VFX, it's so broad. But once you start getting attention of what you want to do, you'll see like, oh, maybe I need to know how to do a roto, or maybe you know how to do let's say rigging, and you'll get some sort of specific terms within those industry. And once you type that in, I feel like YouTube nowadays is such a great place. Like, even though you're in a school, it's kind of embarrassing, but even though I was in SVA, a lot of times professors also search up in YouTube, which is funny, but it makes sense because this visual effects world, there is no textbook, you know, unlike other science or mathematic, you know, team who does everything logically. We are the very futuristic group of people who tends to solve this problem by their own heads and, you know, imagination. So I cannot say there are a textbook way of solving certain stuff. Everyone has a different way of doing it. So once you grab a script from other people, let's say in Nuke, it's like sometimes you have a moment like, wow, how did this person solve this in this way? Like everyone has a different way of doing it. So it's hard to tell, but our industry is somewhere where you need to be kind of imagination wise, very open box people to really think of the solveness. But YouTube has everything. Like YouTube really does like everything. Yeah.
If you're focusing, like I say, if you're focusing on a certain task and searching for a certain solution, you have to just like make sure that this solution working for you. So is this easy enough for me to execute it? And am I going to be able to execute it? Am I going to successfully execute this thing? Sometimes you can find tutorials on YouTube that are way too complicated for like a beginner, but instead you can find multiple like YouTube like solutions for a certain like problem, which have break down the problem and then step by step like going through it. Sorry, it was not, the question was not towards me, but I had
I'm taking notes right now. Like that is impressive for sure.
Okay, what else do we have? So Michelle is asking, what was the hardest thing about creating a brand out of your identity online? What helped you the most?
Well, I feel like again, so many people are already superstar, and you might have some aspect that already like famous people have, and maybe you're not as shining as they are currently, which I feel currently as well. But you know, I'm just keep trying it. Like some people wants to see the results like right away, and I used to be a person who likes to do that, but I feel like everything needs a baby step and everything needs some time. So just like I'm meeting you guys, this is somewhere I'm also promoting myself as a brand to you guys too. So any opportunities you guys have, just do it. Like don't be too picky about it. Like if you're like, even though you're like Oscar winner or something, still they should not be too picky about anything. Because again, I feel like any people can learn from anyone else, and the level of your experience doesn't matter. It's just a matter of how professional you are with the mindset that really matters, I think. So whenever I see opportunities, even with this too, like I'm very open to share me and also hear what you guys are concerning, just like your Q&A too, because that also gives me an inspiration of, oh, I didn't know that this could be a stressful thing for certain amount of people, and maybe I should help you guys with, opening up my experience and stories. So always try to be, open up with any type of opportunities, I would say, for sure.
Awesome. Abby is asking tips on making the jump from advertising to film.
I think in terms of the jumping, I didn't set that boundaries in terms of the workflow that I do, because again, the difference between commercial and the film is that commercials are very fast turnaround and very heavily client pressures are always in it. Like even though you have a great ideas or great, inputs you want to put on, still there are legal problems that you got to follow. There are brands, executives that is holding their own positions to really, choose what needs to go out and not. So you wouldn't really have that much of the freedom in terms of the art world. But in feature film, you may have some, but again, nowadays, because we're more focusing on like Netflix and like the media that we focus are not just the screens, it's also Netflix, it's also on demand. So it's getting closer to commercials nowadays. Like it's getting into a fast pace, it's getting into a very, client input based. So I feel like there isn't really much difference. But only thing is that the publication of the project is longer in feature film than the commercial. Because again, we put it out in next day or two. It's really fast. But film wise, you need to wait for a long time to see it and have your credits on. That's the slight difference. But some people feel safer with those longer working duration, just because I don't know, like I have a different mindset, so I can't really say out loud how they feel, but they used to say they enjoy longer due dates and longer process work because it's more focused and you can really put yourself into it. While as commercial kiddos like us, it's like 2 days, let's go, like boom, 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 and put it out and it's out, yay, and people forget about it. But next time you have another shot going on in next 2 days, boom, 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 let's go. So it really depends on who you are. Again, I think this question also goes to that point. Like if you know what type of person you are, you'll do it. But in terms of jumping, I don't see any cutoffs of these two projects anymore. It's pretty much the same nowadays.
Okay, thank you so much. Kylene is asking, how did you study or prepare yourself for this kind of jobs?
So for compositing, again, I've majored computer arts in SVA. And so we have two groups of students, and we have one side of fully CG kiddos, while we have like 5 or 6 only who is doing compositing, unfortunately. But I choose compositing just because I tend to work outside of school as a more of the, production person. So moving into compositing gave me a better sense of understanding what I need to do and what the needs are. But in terms of like learning curve, again, compositing does not have a textbook. It's just if you have a good eye, you'll get it. If you don't have a good eye, it's gonna take longer, but there is no such thing like you're never gonna be a compositor, like you'll be at a certain point, but it's just a matter of how long would it take for you. Like that's the only difference, I think. So just explore everything. But again, YouTube, I'm also still searching a lot from YouTube because they have so much, like so much. I cannot even like highlight even more. Like it's just YouTube have everything. Sorry, like they are the best for sure.
Thank you so much. Nice Year is asking, if there is only one thing you can make us take away from this call, what would it be?
Let me know if this is a wrong answer, but just be nice to each other. Like it's
That's a great
so
answer.
important. Like people forget that every single moment. And even for me too, I need to keep reminding myself, like, let's be nice to people. Let's be nice to people. Cause when the work goes stressful, everyone's become mean in a way. But real professional people don't tend to show their stress to other people because it's gonna impact the workflow and the results of the whole teamwork. So try to be nice to each other. That is gonna give you a lot of difference later on. Like for real. Like, it's gonna give you a difference for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, somebody, Mina asked, what do you mostly aim to teach in internships? Do you have internships at Mill?
Mill does. Maybe it changed a little bit, but what I've been seeing and helping the newly interns back then was that we give you guys 10 shots of the task, like 10 different tasks of compositing. Again, this may be different from CG people, but normally when you're in an internship, you'll get a certain amount of task. And while you are focusing on each of the 10 different tasks, you'll be assigned with the mentor. And I think this is a good thing about the Mill. Mill is very focused on, feeding a good enough knowledge and skill set to a younger generation. So they always assign a mentor of a certain amount of level who can give you like how to do stuff or how to be in a good manner in a way. So once you get into the role, you'll learn both of how the company goes and how the compositing should work. So you don't need to be stressing out like getting into a project right away because it's the way of protecting you guys. Like if you are thrown into a project without any mentors or any protections, everything is going to be your responsibility and you'll find out it's very scary at the end. But Mill tends to really protect each artist and each new generation at a certain amount of level. So I feel like if you're interested in, Mill does a great mentorship. So I would highly recommend if you want to learn about it.
Great.
Thank you so much. That was great. Somebody asked, have you ever worked in the gaming industry, or will you be interested in thinking? Will you consider it?
I'll be real honest. I'm not a gaming person, so but I've seen clients who is coming into me and saying, I have this gaming related works that they need to publish and they need certain people. And again, I can help these industry to hire certain people by their needs. But when you ask about my personal answer of if you like it or not, or if you're interested in, I am not, but it's a very big industry where the money flows as well. So if you're a very techy person or like very like, you know, like very gaming person, definitely go with it because it's a big industry and people do enjoy it a lot when they go into that industry. I'm just not a gaming person, so I couldn't really understand a certain amount of points, but it's a cool place. And if you have some stuffs already related to the gaming, just share me through. And if I see anyone who needs the related person, I can definitely, you know, highlight you guys later on for sure.
Thank you. That was
Cool.
great. So, is there any more questions from anybody in the room? Oh, I think this is time. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I love this presentation, by the way. You should give it to me too. I love that. So cute.
So much. It's designed by one of our former animators. This two
Aw.
character. Yeah.
Love that. Cool.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, Jian. It was a really interesting presentation. I was really happy to hear about your journey into compositing and the many different disciplines that you were able to explore along the way was what I was really
Aw.
taking from it.
Thank you so much. You know, I learned from you guys too with this question and all the, you know, presentation you put it up. I'm also learning at this point, so appreciate that.
Thank you so much. It's so kind of you to say that.
Thank you.
Well, everyone, we are coming toward the end of today's session. Hoda, how are we going to close for today?
So, as a tap tradition, we are going to close the closing ritual. And the question for our closing ritual today is, what is one thing you will take with you from today's presentation? Please share your thoughts with us. The Q&A. Abby also says thank you. And Anonymous Tendi says, I learned to be more kind. Angie says, I stay determined with your goals.
Very good takeaway.
Very good takeaway, indeed.
Something that stuck out to me is I was touching on it a little bit, but like how you started with saying like don't be afraid to explore a lot of different things. I feel that in animation school, you're often encouraged to specialize right out of the gate and like go for a specific job right out of school. But as we saw in your presentation, when you explore a lot of different adjacent interests, they typically end up coming together, or even if they don't fully come together, you like know so many different types of people that you can get different kinds of opportunities and build a reputation for somebody who does makeup as well as compositing, or this and that, a jack of all trades, and it just it gets you closer to doing the work that you want to be doing, which is something that I'm trying to learn right now as well. So I really appreciated that.
Definitely. I feel the same. I think you should, while you're in school, I think it was a very important advice that he said, while you're in school, don't limit yourself only to your assignments and get them done and, you know, obtain a certain GPA level. Always like think of it as an opportunity. I tell to my students too, to just seek, like, you know, take this opportunity as something that you can explore yourself more than anything. And I think it was like such a good advice. Thank you so much. Anonymous said that to be creative is their takeaway, and Nina shared one thing I took away is how important it is to make connections, and that just because you are introverted, it doesn't mean that you cannot interact with people and within your community.
That's a great takeaway.
Very good.
That's big for me too. And networking is scary. I'm one of those introverted people. So hearing you saying like you can compromise, you can send a LinkedIn message, you can just figure out what works for you.
Definitely. it might sound scary, but we are people at the end of the day, and we also like to share. And I think it's more appreciated when you reach out to somebody, try to connect. It's like beautiful. So
Yeah.
that's a good message too. Any other takeaways? Any
See,
other messages that you want to share? Words of appreciation, thanks, goodbyes? I don't know.
We've got a couple coming
Oh,
in.
okay.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Zainab says, it matters what you are capable of and not what you think you are capable of, as thinking and doing is different. So that's their takeaway. It's a good takeaway.
Good takeover. Margie says, one thing that I will take from this presentation is that respect everyone and also be active.
Very good takeaway. Alani's takeaway is nice and simple. You can't give up. Very true. Don't give up.
That's wonderful. Nagis says, something that I took away is be creative because your mind can do anything. You just have to let yourself express yourself. Hope that makes sense. Makes total sense, I guess.
Muhammad said their biggest takeaway is that there will be many new encounters in life that will help you improve yourself. That's true.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
Christian says to keep developing yourself and be open to learning new things. Very true. You don't stop learning out of school. You're going to be learning forever.
Forever. Never ends. And also one other thing that I will take away is the advice that always like work on your brand. I remember you said as a person, as an artist identity, I think it was a very important lesson to share.
We are all superstars. Like someday we'll shine. We're just trying to have a baby step at this point, and somebody's gonna let us shine, and we'll shine.
That's another great takeaway too. The baby steps is that you kept coming back to. It's just like trusting the process, knowing that it can't happen overnight.
Absolutely.
And Evan says that you will miss 100% of the shots you won't take.
Mhm.
Totally. Yeah, that's a
Very
good
true.
takeaway. You have to shoot your shot.
Let's see, Samantha says to stay positive and be more open to new things. Similar to one of the other takeaways.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you everybody for sharing. There are still like answers coming. Lena said something that I took away is you should always communicate and share your ideas even when you are not sure.
Yep.
Yep. Isabella says always be respectful, be kind to everyone. Communication is the key. Yes.
No matter what you're doing. Yeah.
I'm
Thank you
proud of you.
for sharing. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was gonna say I'm so proud of everyone already. Like you guys made my day. I hope we all shine together soon.
Wonderful. Sahar said, be happy, keep going, stay determined, and pursue your dreams, because at the end of the day, it's your life.
Very true.
Very true, Sahar. So, I think with that last insight, we're gonna like move towards saying our goodbyes and closing the session for today. Thank you everybody for sharing.
Yes, and thank you all for coming to today's group and for your thoughtful questions. Thanks again to our amazing guest speaker, Jiun, and to everyone on the TAP team who made this event possible.
Thank you so much. If you would like to join a TAP group in your community, we currently have 2 in-person opportunities. Join us in Harlem on Mondays and South Bronx on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. for animated storytelling groups. No registration required. You just need to show up and you will be incentivized $15 for the time that you're spending in the group.
All right. We hope you all have a wonderful afternoon, and as always, stay connected. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye,
Thank-
everyone. Follow us
Bye,
on our social media and
Oh,
everybody.
that too.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Gigi. That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
for everything. Have a wonderful Wednesday.
You too, Gigi.
Bye.